Hello everybody, welcome back to Adobe Live and Animation 501 episode 2. This is the place to be if you want to practice your animation skills in After Effects while learning some cool animation thingamabobbies, aka our effects, in After Effects 2, which is awesome. Hi Keith, I hope you're doing well. I was watching the stream just before this one. My goodness, that was really exciting, wasn't it? Hi Dara, thank you so much for the stream earlier. That looks so cool. Hi Robert, Oliver. So exciting. We do love Ryan. Alrighty, so today I have something slightly different. I don't know if you've seen this before, but in After Effects we have a little tool, a stylization called Motion Tile, which is super cool. So we're going to take a little look, one, at how to do it, and then we can dive into our mini games and such and actually practice our animation while practicing the new thing, all the good stuff. Hi Paloma, Alessandra, how are you lot doing? Plus, have a little think, this is all related. What is the last horror movie you saw? It's totally related. All right, let's see what we're focusing on today. That's right, that motion tile. The motion tile effect can produce interesting, creative, and useful results. And this can be used in multiple ways. Most of the things that I show can be. A lot of the stuff that we do with motion tile, we could totally do manually, but why? When we've got something to make our lives just a little bit easier. So we're going to do a few in today's mini games too. Oh, thank you, Paloma. Wow, more treat streams. Oh yeah. Hey Devlin. Our mini games of the day are Tuna, Hungry Hippos, and Film Reel. If you've been to Animation 101, 201, 301, 401, or 501 before, you know this is your call to action to download the minigame files. They might appear inside the chat, but they're absolutely within the YouTube description box. So go ahead, if you're watching this as a VOD, pause the video, grab your stuff, and meet me back here with your After Effects open. But yes, for everybody else that's still here, I am so serious. What's the last horror movie you watched? I can't be the only one who watched something at some point. I feel like it might have been Scream. It's not even a modern day. It's not even a modern day horror film, but Scream is the first thing that comes to mind. Now, before we get started with the mini games, we've animated before, and I'll go through some of the cool things we can do to help this go along. But let's see how we can use Motion Tile first, just so we can get the flow of things and then find out how we can use it to maybe make other animations a little bit simpler and use it in an unconventional way. All right, so within my After Effects, I've got a mini example open over here. Oh, hi Proxy. YouTube chat, Behance chat. We do love both the chats. I don't remember. I see, Oliver. It wasn't wow enough, it sounds like. Not a big horror fan, but the last one I saw was called, I know that one. Barbarian, yes. I watched RoboCop last night, Devlin. I'm not sure that counts, but I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Do rewatch count? Absolutely. Absolutely it counts. So if you've got a After Effects, let's say any composition open, I've got two pictures here. I'm going to show you how we can use the motion tile effect to do that kind of screensavery look. So let's say we've got a picture. We'll make my head slightly smaller. There we go. And let's say we want another picture to come in at some point, maybe over here. I'm holding Alt and pressing the left bracket key to snip it down for me. After a little while, especially when you're doing a lot of After Effects work, I think sometimes you might manually do the trimming. Sometimes you're going to use the keyboard shortcuts. It kind of depends on what's happening. I thought the live was only on YouTube. Oh no! Thankfully, they're, what do they call it? Is it simulcast? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Was it the modern day? Wait, which RoboCop? Because I know there's like, they remade it, but the OG ones, you know. Yeah, RoboCop is pretty gory. Yeah, it is. Ah, the state of androids that we're heading to, huh? Scary. So we've got one, we've got another. Now you can totally put the motion tile effect on a particular layer, or You could do it across all of the layers, depending on what's below it. So what I mean by this is, let's right click, go to new, do adjustment layer. I should call it something. I'm just gonna call it AL, which is still adjustment layer, but it's not their default, so it's okay. So what we're gonna do is put the effect on the adjustment layer. We'll go to effect, go to stylize with a Z, and look for motion tile. There we go. So now we've got tile width, tile height, the main things we're gonna be touching probably. Tile width, tile height, phase, horizontal phase, and the tile center we're gonna be playing around with in the mini games. So if we stick phase on, which kind of indicates how it's going to move. Let me press U to see my keyframes. And let's go to tile width and tile height as well. Press U again so I can see them all. And let's say the beginning and the end I want to be the same. So let's re-click our keyframes. Now the start and the middle, they're the same. The part where I want something to happen, somewhere in the middle. Let's say we change the tile width to 35 and change the height to 35 as well. Now I've got that kind of cool effect. Did you enjoy the Olympic? Hold on, I don't know if this is the right one, but in our gamer speak, I know my gamer friends showed a video of, I think it was a fencer, and they were jumping consistently until they got a hit. And I was like, you know what? That's how you do it. If you do something the opponent is not expecting. They were spamming the jump move and it worked. That was great. I don't like horror films, so I definitely don't know. Okay, I dig. I get it. Robocop was not one I was expecting to hear, I'll be honest. If we go and press play here, we can see that it zooms out and comes back in. But if we want it to do something kind of different, let's say we change the phase to 1. So now when it comes out, it looks like it does a bit of a horizontal thing and then it comes back down. But the change might be more interesting if the images change at the apex. So we've got it going up, it comes back down. Woo! We can also make it do it horizontal as well. So if we turn on the horizontal shift, instead of going up and down, it's going to go left and right. Cool. So we've got an idea of how motion tile can work. You can absolutely just trim this part off and then duplicate this, and it's just going to repeat over the other parts, which is really, really handy. If you know what you want it to do and you've got a lot of things for it to repeat over, this way it kind of eases the workload and you haven't actually done anything to the layers behind it too. That's super lovely. Oh, Keys, I didn't know you knew French. All right, so I think we're good. We're ready. We understand what the motion tile is. We know where to find it. We know what we can do with it. We know we can put it on the adjustment layer and all that jazz. Now, I'm going to take a look at the first minigame. Number 1, the tuner. Can you tell why I asked what the last horror movie you watched was? If you don't know the reference in this one, I will be a little bit surprised. Okie dokie. So if you've got your file open, all of the little mini game compositions are at the bottom. We're on number 1. So over here, as with most of these, we're in 501. This means that you need to start animating some of these things for yourself. I've animated nothing. I've left it there for you to do. So you need to practice your animation skills somehow, then add the other stuff that you're learning. So if we press play, we can see that we've got the sign, the tune it sign, and we can see when the mini game ends. So if we're going to add something special, normally happens near the end half of it. So if we want Sadako to rise up out of this well. But Pixie, your signature blonde hair curls are on your right side, not the left. You know what? You're right. We could just mirror it. We could horizontal flip, right? Paloma. Oh, that reference, that movie scared me. I will never forget. There we go. Look, okay, Paloma understood. Paloma knew the reference. That's what I'm about. Just something little in there. You know, I've never watched it. Oh no, tell a lie. I saw the English one because there was the Japanese one, the original, and then they did the English one with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I remember that. I think it's a mirror effect. No, I think I probably drew it that way. I probably did draw it that way. Technically, my hair in real life is actually, when I do my hair with the blonde stuff, it's on the opposite side because the camera flips it. So in real life, I'm also wearing it on the wrong side. So let's first make her pop out, shall we? We could have full on for a second. And she's the bit that's going to have the effect going on. So when you're working in general, I say do the simplest bit first. Sometimes you can do the hardest bit first. But if you need a quick, okay, this is done, this is out the way. Let's do the simplest bit first. We've got body and hair. So we know where she is. I think I have made sure that she's already hidden by the well. Looks like the hair is attached to the body. Let's press P for position and move her up and down. Okay, we can see that she's locked by the well already. I've done some work for you. Let's hit the keyframe on the position. This is where she needs to come up. I found that when you are keyframing and if the final pose is where it currently looks like, throw a keyframe down immediately and just move it to the side. That way it can come back to you. Hi, Nitin. Welcome on in. We are working with motion tiles while doing some animation practice. So I need her to pop out of the well. Let's say she's down here. Let's hit F9. You can right click and do easy ease, but that's another way to get there. Oh, that's really fast. We want her to come out, but slower. Cool. If we want it to be even slower, a cool technique that we can do is change this into the graph mode. Unfortunately, position requires you to split it. So let's split it. We don't need X. Remember, if you've got your hand like this, X is where your thumb is. Y is where your index finger is. So we need the Y because we're going up. Let's take off the X position, go into the graph editor, and let's smooth this out one more time. Oh, I had rewatched The Ring too, but not entirely. I tried to figure out a few scenes. Wait, what do you mean? You know, like, I swear it's like, it's black and white when you're watching the tape, right? It was a long time ago. Oh, Buffy, now I know what that is. The TV was making me think of the video dream. Wait, video dream? What's that? I think you lost me there. Okay, she comes out, but let's say I still want her to be coming out. So let me drag this over, and what we can do is add a keyframe in the middle of her. I'm just going to pop this one here. And by having another point in the middle, if I drag this out, don't forget the longer the line is, the slower it moves. The shorter the line is, that's the graph line, the quicker it is. So I'm creating a space for me to make this take longer to get down here. And it looks like we're at the end of this, so let's make sure it's actually in. Okay. Nice. So we've got a little bit of a slow out on this, which is lovely. We can try to get a little bit more by moving this over, as long as this isn't too broken. If you're doing it and it looks like this, it's going to start, stop, start, stop. What you want is to try to make sure it's got a nice long kind of line, so you can play around with the speed a little bit more. You can totally do this with the velocity as well, but I don't use the speed. Ironically, I tend to do it with the grass, but it might be because I'm a 3D student. Ah, there we go. So now it's continuing to slow out, which is awesome. By the time it says boom, you can go and see your success here and see when it actually closes back in. You can choose to time it, maybe just before, just after, something to make people be like, oh, I saw something. So maybe let's have it here. This actually works really well for us because we've animated one thing. It gives us the timings for everything else. Well, everything else on the body at least. So let's copy this, paste this one over here. So let's say it starts down as well, and then we repeat the process. But maybe it's an early 80s. You know what? I thought David Attenborough totally auto-corrected before I read the rest of that. David Cronenberg horror. Ooh, James Wooden, mind control through. Huh. TV show? Was it a movie? I feel like this was on my watch list. I think I really wanted to watch that. It kind of makes me think of the time with, you know, what was the movie where you had to wear glasses and then you could see what things were actually saying to you? Was it this? They Live? No, it's not that. Something like, do you know the movie I'm talking about? Okay, let's also separate dimensions. We don't need X. Remember, X, Y. I'm gonna want this one. I'm gonna pretty much repeat the exact same thing. Let's drag it out. Make the head move slowly. And we're also gonna change the timing because at the moment they're moving together. But when things are moving together, the audience cannot tell what's moving and what isn't, which means details are gonna be lost. So we'll have the head move slightly after the body. That way we can see the difference. It was a typically weird 80s movie. Okay, is this... Wait, when was Outer Limits? That's 60s, isn't it? Let's pop this here. Whoop. Let me pop this on here. We know that it shouldn't be too bending like that. Otherwise, it's going to give us really strange results. So The Ring was a short film and colored traditionally with filters and chemical processes. I tried to figure out how to replicate that look. Oh my goodness. Is it really? Hold on. That's good. And the head still moves as well. That's not bad. Did the head just pop? No, it's all right. Okay. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. If we toggle when the animation's happening, we'll get a slightly different effect. I'm even going to move this closer. Nice. Not bad. Move this closer still. Nice. Maybe just a little bit more. The tweaking is always a part of the animation process. Did you ever figure it out? So now we've got the body, but if you take a look here, the orange at the top and all the greens, like, what is this? Oh, this is a part of it too. Well, again, all of these need to be kept together because now I know they have to be seen all the time at the beginning, but I need the effect to happen that we had before, like a whole screen tier. So make sure that you click in an empty space, go to new, go to adjustment layer. Do bear in mind, everything that's below is going to be affected. So what we're going to do is do the thingy here and then stick it in a comp. Make sure that it's all works, it's all good. Then we'll bring it back out. Like bring the comp, make sure the comp is above. That way the adjustment layer won't affect anything else because it will only affect what's inside the comp. We're kind of grouping a group and another group. Outer Limits was 60s originally, then a revival in the late 90s. Oh yeah, I remember the remake of Outer Limits. I think it came out on the Sci-Fi Channel. Did it really? Oh, okay. So there was Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, and then there was mainly anthology horrors. I don't think I've seen an anthology sci-fi. Well, Black Mirror is kind of like the British version of that, but since then, I don't think I've seen a sci-fi anthology. You don't need to trim it off. The see your success here part is automatically going to trim it for you. But because I've cut everything else off on the side, you can see when there's no point to animate. It's not going to be seen. So I've got my adjustment layer over here. Should I name it? I could. A layer. Let's right click it. You could either go to the top or do it from down here. Whichever way floats your boat. Stylize, motion tile. And to start, let's play around with some stuff. Okay, cool. So to start, I think I'm going to want it to kind of look a bit weird. I could actually take all of this. Do I want to? That's the question. If I zero out the height, only have the width. Oh, hold on, it's not reacting in the way that I'm used to seeing. Let's check this again. Zero out the height. Yeah, there we go. So make sure everything else is back to normal. When we zero out the height, the width kind of makes it do this really weird thing. Don't worry about the rest of it. We're going to fix it later. So I'm going to make sure I keyframe my width and my height. Let's press U. And remember, we want it to start after the text happens, which is after this red block here. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to make sure the original is there too. Should it be there? It needs to be there, but at the end. So let me drag this further down the line. I guess we don't really need to. It's always at 100 anyway. That's fine. I guess it's also fine. Okay, let's copy and paste this. So it's got the effect going. I need it to move across the screen. So this is where the tile center comes in. We're totally using it in a completely different way than I showed you before. I'm going to move it here and maybe have this go to the right a few times. Black Mirror, sometimes I wonder, Charlie Brooker's okay. Keith says, sort of, the challenge lessened once I found a YouTubing content creator. I'd already figured it out. Ah. Well, like I was saying with this, there's always more than one way to do it. If it allows you to just get on and do it, then that's cool. But not that you shouldn't keep maybe being like, oh, okay, well, this works. Let me try this way. Is this another way to get back to the same place? There's probably 13 ways to do one thing. Technically, what I'm doing here, guarantee you, there's other ways to do this. But here's one way. Okay, let's turn it off of full, just in case. Good. Okay, we've got it going to the side. Now I want it to go upwards. We could stretch this out because it looks like this is going to happen really quick. We want it to be fixed maybe around there. So we're going to have to make sure no one can really tell the difference. So let's make sure the keyframes are really close together. It means it's going to snap. So let's do the inverse. Width is on 0. Tile height is on 100. And then we want to do the center, but swinging around in the other direction. So let me pop this here. Move this over. Let's copy and paste everything because it's supposed to stay the same until it isn't. And make it go down maybe. Let's take a little look. Good. And then let's say around here it sorts itself out. So we can have this come back. Let's work on bringing this back somewhere to the center. You can focus on the end half. If you want, you can absolutely turn the grid on. If you're not sure where the grid is, it is down here. Put the grid on, check out where it was in the beginning. When the effect's not on, we can actually just hide this. Check out where it is in the beginning and then go to the end and see if it's the same. Well, I guess you could just turn it on, turn it off again. Oh, that's pretty handy, isn't it? Oh, it's off right now. Whoops. Somewhere over here. I'm not too concerned. I don't think anyone's really going to notice. We should be fine. Let's turn the grid off so it's not too distracting. And we're going to want it to kind of be there already. Aha. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So let's say this is the kind of thing that we want. Let's grab all of the layers. That's the adjustment layer, everything to do with the ring, which is the green and the orange. And let's turn it into a comp. The thing. There we go. Lovely. So now we can see, let's make sure we save. We can see there's something above the screen that's doing all the thing that we want it to do, which is perfect. And then it comes back to the center where it's supposed to be. Love it. But it's kind of doing it all over the screen. That's where we're going to use the matte and stuff. So I've got a file or a layer at the bottom that says game mask. That's the one that we're going to connect it to. Like so. Make sure you turn the visibility back on. It always turns it off. But we actually do want to keep it. Oh, hold on. That's the game mask. We need it to be on the TV, not the game. Let's find where the TV is. Ah, there we go. TV BG mask, that's the one. BG stands for background. Same thing. Now, the effect is constrained to the actual thingy itself, which is awesome. Although, before we do this, I'm actually going to copy this layer and take it out. Not for us to do anything to it. We're going to hide it so it doesn't actually affect anything, but you'll see why. We can see our keyframes this way, and we need to tune the TV. So we have to move the little, what are they called on the top? The things, the pointy things. We have to move the pointy things on the top to make it look like we're tuning it. But every time we move it, we need this to correspond to the movement. I can't remember what it's called. Do you remember? But by us being able to see the keyframe, it kind of allows us to set the tuner to the time that the other stuff is moving. Lovely. So let us go ahead and do that. I think if we block this one, I should be able to just grab it. Ah, there we go. It's literally called Move It. I could have this. If you want to, you could put it on 3D. I don't think you really need to, but you can put it on 3D if you so choose. We can have it go down and tilt over here. Antenna. Thank you. Thank you very much, both of you. Oliver and Khalid. I could not find the word. We used to have a TV that had an antenna. So obviously I'm from the 90s. Oh, but now since none of them need it anymore, we've got little screens in our hands like on Star Trek all of a sudden. Can he find the word? So I tend to like things popping quite often. If we want it to have a little pop movement, rule of thumb, you need to overshoot your animation. So this and this keyframe, they're exactly the same. What I need them to do is go slightly further than it really is. I think we made it move down. And then have it snap back up again. There we go. So we've got a little bit of a snap. It's a little bit slow, so we could just move it closer together. And repeat the process. We got that here. Let's pop this up too. Maybe another way, I don't know. For those of you that have ever had to move the antenna, you know what I mean. But we need that to move from there. So let's do it again. Let's say that's the final space that it moves to, which is upwards. So let's say it goes up just a little bit more, back just a little bit more, up just a little bit more, so it can pop. So we got boop, boop, and one more. And that's how we know we successfully did it. 3 always seems to be the magic number when it comes to these. Copy and paste one more time. Move it wherever you like. Or if you really wanted, probably just copy and paste something you already did. Why work harder, eh? So we got boop, boop, boop. Ta-da! Yes. Maybe let's have this happen here. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's turn it on to full. Let's take a look. See your success here. And I think that's set to this one. We can put the N here so we can make sure we don't see too much. So if we check it out, we can see our tune it. It's got to load a little bit, but we got time. We've got time to let it go. The other two are using the motion tile effect in a slightly different way. All right, let's take a look again. So we got it going on. We've got the effect going around. We've got it coming up. Sadako appearing. Love it. Awesome. Okay. 1 down, 2 to go. Number 2. Hungry hippos. Nom 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 nom. Do you not have a favorite board game? Everyone in my family, minus my father, is an artist. Well, he's an entertainer. It's a creative, but slightly different. But because everybody's an artist, our game is Pictionary. The old-fashioned Pictionary. We've literally got a paper one, and it's got some cue cards with some big words of things that we have never seen before, which is wild. But yes, what is your favorite board game? Have you ever played them? We never had Hungry Hippos. Never had it. So I'm going to zoom out. I can see that it ends here. We're going to do slightly the same thing, but slightly different. The ring wasn't Buffy, by the way. She was in the... Oh. You're right. Oh, it was the Grudge. Oh, there you go. But wait. But we also had somebody coming out of a well, and I swear it was... Is the Grudge the person that comes out of the well? Who's coming out of the well? Thank you. But who's coming out of the well? Which one? Okay, give me... I know they're both horror. Can you break it down for me, Oliver? Thank you. Okay, so for this one, as before, nothing is animated. You're going to have to animate the hippos, animate the pellet shooter, and animate the pellet. But the pellet is where we're going to put the motion tile. Go to effect, go to stylize, grab that motion tile. Lovely. And if you can see, we've got this little anchor point right here. This is going to indicate where the tile thing is going to go to. One useful thing about the tile is that it repeats the image that you've got, which is perfect because I want the pellet to keep shooting. The well is the ring. What's the Grudge then? No, the well happens in the ring. What happens in the Grudge? Because I saw the Grudge. I thought I saw the ring too, but apparently not. Okay, we got the pellet, we got the thing. We're gonna mainly focus on the tile center. As you can see, while I'm scrolling down, because I've got space to scroll down, it endlessly loops, which is perfect. So let's put a keyframe on that. We know that it has to happen after it says do the thing. So let's say, maybe it starts from about here. Let's hide it. Oops, let's hide it. And then let's have it endlessly come upwards. Is that up? No. Let's have it endlessly come upwards. Depending on the speed of this, it's going to be how fast you have to move your stuff. Let's see. That's really slow. Really slow. Let's move it a little bit more. It's the right way. Nope. Still too slow. We're at 476. What happens if we do 4,000? This good? That's too fast. The hippos are going to be attacked by the pellets. We can't do that. Let's say 2,000. Find a nice speed. Wait, Naomi Watts playing the main character. No, Naomi Watts? Creepy looking kids in the haunted house happens in the garage. Is the garage the one that goes down the stairs? That's good, but it could still be too fast. Did the ring not go down the stairs? Hi, Seda. Welcome on in. This is Animation 501 for anyone that's just hopped in halfway through. Here we practice our animation skills while learning a new effect in whatever program we happen to be using. This series is all about After Effects this time. And I tend to give you maybe 3 different mini games so you can 1, practice your animation, and 2, practice incorporating the new effect at the time. So I'm trying to find a nice speed for these pellets. 1,000 seems to be all right. We're just gonna go with it. Just gonna go with it. Also, because none of you said that you've played any board games, have you not played any board games? Is it all books? No board games, just books? Now it looks like the pellet isn't constrained to the game mask, so we can also do that too. So we can just hover over the game mask, make sure that it doesn't go outside, only behind the hippos, but nowhere beyond that. Now we've done the main thing, that's great. Let's also move the cannon. Now, I know the pellet's still going to be going forward, but we can fix that. That's okay. So it comes out here. We know the cannon should be in the front. We can start from the front, make it easy for ourselves. And then let's say it turns to the left. We're going to overshoot because we want it to pop back. Popping back is always cute. There we go. So we've got to pop left. And let's say here, it pops back the other way. So we're going to hold this keyframe. You can absolutely right click and go to toggle hold keyframe, but I'm so old school that I do it the long way. I copy and paste the same keyframe and then do the thingy. I haven't played board games in years. Yeah. Out of curiosity, did anybody else? I don't know why our school did this. This is secondary school. I don't know why they did this, but like when it was raining, I'm sure it can't be all the time when it was raining, but when it was raining, they wouldn't let us out of the class. They would either just stick on a VHS or just whip out like this crinkly green texture and just stick chess on it. And they were trying to make us play board games, and I don't think the instructions for chess was there. So, you know, I did not play it much. Never been a chess person. But you know what I like? I have been around to some like mega mall-y areas in London, and they've got gigantic chess pieces, and people just stand around and watch the people playing. It's actually really nice. And there's gigantic Jenga. You have 7 days to get your facts straight, Pixie. Please. Scrabble, Monopoly. Oh, yes. Oh, Monopoly's a good one, isn't it? Oh, you never guess. I was in foils the other day. And it's going to go back to the center. About here. So we can just copy. Oh, we don't really have a center yet. Grab the center one. Overshoot the center, then have it stay in the center. I was in foils the other day, and there was Dragon Ball Z Monopoly and Sailor Moon Monopoly, and I was like, oh, really? All right. There, I see the audience they're trying to reach now. Okay, so he goes to the left, right, middle, and we can just have it repeat that until it's over. And because we've already done the work, we can just copy and paste. Make sure it happens slightly before the pellet comes out. Good. Back the other way. Probably there, I take it. Maybe just here. Good. Okay. So at primary school, we had VHS or board games. A secondary school range just meant loitering in the building. They wouldn't allow us to. Forced us to stay in the classroom and watch a VHS that nobody wanted to watch, but we had to watch it anyway. It's like, cool, I'm just gonna draw on my book in the corner. So now we've done this, all we have to do is make the pellet move over. If we go to the pellet, take a look at the motion tile effect, there isn't really, we could, I guess, move it over here, but because of how this is, and it's kind of constrained to the pulley system of you trying to slide the numbers, it's kind of awkward. So what you can do, and what we will do, is make a null, which we should name, but we won't, and we're gonna connect the pellet to it. So let's say I've got my pellet following it here. We'll go to position. At the start, it's always supposed to be in the center. But here, this tells us that it needs to move to the side. So let's make it move. Let's say, pull it to the left. And we can, whoops, we can also make it go in the direction that it needs to go in. Drag this out. Let's take a look. Maybe pull it a bit more. Anything that we need to do to help it go there. Ahaha. Yeah. Okay, cool. We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. Let's see. Oop. And then we can hide it. It's all good. I still think did you really have, oh my gosh. I never got a chance to play it. I always wanted to try it. That and Buckaroo. I wanted to try that and Buckaroo. We never had it. Maybe we should make like Buckaroo as a minigame. So now it goes straight. It goes to the side. We can make sure that we have it snap straight back to the center. That's not the center. Let's copy the first one to make sure it's back. Oh, it doesn't need to be in the center, does it? Where does it need to be? There is where it needs to go. So I'm actually going to copy and paste this to make sure it doesn't move. Oh, I guess we could kind of hide it off screen. We could totally hide it off screen for a second or two. Boop, there we go. And make sure it doesn't come back. Hide it, goodbye. Cool. On this side, we need it to be going to the blue hippo. So let's just drag it to the right. Maybe just a little bit more. Whoops. That's so much cleaner than the other one. Don't know how it happened with this one, but that's fine. We take those. We take those. Good. And maybe let's hide this one too. Buckaroo was really, oh see, you got to play all the cool games. We're a video game family, so we mainly have video games, but I did want to try those too. Okay, cool. We got boop, boop, boop. When the hippos move backwards, we're gonna sneakily hide the fact that the pellet's kind of going through the back. Okay, so we got this, and then it goes back to the center. Center is the first one. And then technically we can just copy and paste everything. Oh, we don't have to do it again. Spout there, happens here. Is that you? Is that this? Yeah, okay, cool. So now if we press spacebar, boop, boop. Cool. Yo, what's happening here? What's happening here? That's not right. No one's really gonna see this bit, but we should probably fix it. No one's gonna see it, but we should probably fix it. There we go, okay. We can take it, we can take it. So the pellet moves where it's supposed to. It looks like it's connected to the cannon, even though it isn't, which is perfect. The last thing you'd have to do is animate the hippos. You could totally choose to animate the hippos first or after, but whichever thing you animate first, it will help you work out where everything else is supposed to go. Because the pellet's movement is kind of not man-made due to the motion tile effect, I've kind of wrapped everything based off of it rather than me trying to work it out the other way. It'd be much longer. You could do it that way, but trying to make it conform to whatever you're doing is going to be tricky. So I'm going to make the main part of the hippo's body move first, and then with secondary action, we'll have the secondary animation, because the nose is moving because the body is moving. Secondary animation and action. Oof. Always a lovely thing that you can absolutely get mixed up a little bit. But no boogans in a long time. I have friends that buy them and bring them at get-togethers. Oh, that's sweet. That's nice. Okay, it comes here. Let's say hippo go back. That's not the hippo. I've literally color coded them and I ignored the color. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Right, we got it. Goes back. And the nose will go back, and then we're going to claim that it ate it by going forward and overshooting. Overshoot. Let's take a look. Oh, yes. Cool. This is going to help us with our timing for everything else and all the other characters too. So we know this is the beginning. We know this is the end. We know the nose has to come back slightly after. So maybe here, have it come back. I know the nose is going over the eyes. It's all good. And have it hold. Nose shoots forward. Settles. Cute. Okay. I've tried surfing, but that's another kind of boy. I take my hat off to you. You know what? I think Jack and Daxter. I know what it is now. But if anyone played the original Jack and Daxter games, I mean, there aren't anymore, unfortunately. But you know how games have an invisible wall? We know now that it was an invisible wall. If you went too far out at sea, there was a gigantic yellow fish at the bottom of the sea that would come and nibble you. And me and my sister would like try to go out really far and see where the thingy was, and oh my gosh, it was scary. I think that's probably forever tainted the swimming. I do like swimming and floating. It's really fun. But yes, I tried skateboarding once, immediately decided, oh, you know, I want to try roller skating. Everybody's been roller skating in our neighborhood lately. I'm like, I'd like to try. I'd like to dance roller skate, and there seems to be classes, so gotta go. Right, so good news, because we've animated this, we can do the others in a similar fashion. Let's work on this quickly. We've already got our timings and everything. We actually don't have to put much thought work into it. You just need to tell it when to happen. So this is going to move back. We can see that it holds here and paste there. Using the keyframes you already have are your friends. Let's do the same for the nose. We know the nose starts here. We can see that the nose moves back here. We can see the nose hangs, comes down. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Same for the blue one. I always felt like I enjoyed roller skating, but I never did it. No! There's always time. Now's the time. Give it a try. Give it a try. I know they're all moving at the same time, but trust me, this is us working smarter, not harder. The harder way would be to go to the pellet, work out when the pellet. Work out when the pellet is moving, and then like animate it then, but we don't need to. We literally have a template for when what moves and when it does and how it does. So all we have to do is copy it. Oop. Copy that. We're on this one. Yep. Nose is there. Good. Overshoot the nose. Yes. Shoot it forward. Perfect. Okay. So we got this. We got loop. It was slow. About here. Good. And the blue one. About there. Good. And then we just repeat the process. Make sure that these are kind of in a similar place. And then, ooh, that's slow, isn't it? Move that further over. Bloom. It's really cute. I can stay up. Oh my goodness, ice skating. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's always the concern. You don't want to be on the floor while people are rolling on that. One. Yes. We don't even need to worry about this one because presumably they shouldn't see it. But if you want to, you absolutely can finish it. Oops. feel like we managed to grab something of something else that we shouldn't have. There we go. Wham! Cute. And if you really want to, you can absolutely add another mask on for the pellet. Or let's say at this point, you can totally just go to the opacity. Turn it off for a quick second. Wait till it's completely off the screen. Turn it back on when it's done. Nice. And then just copy and paste because we don't need to do it again. Good, can't be seen. That one can be seen, so we probably need to do one at the beginning as well. Nope, that one got hidden. Nice. Boom, and there. It's kind of odd. Cool. So now, if we take a look, stretch it out, it's probably around here. You know what I should do? I should have like little, what are they called? Markers, so we can tell which one I'm talking about. Cool. So our first one, we've got the tuna, got the ring. The second one, we've got the hungry hippos. Now, if you find that this form of it is looking slightly different to this one, it is possible that it could be because there's a lot of extra stuff going on. I have yet to try this, but I believe if you actually comp them, it will probably change its behavior just a little bit, just a little bit. But we've got our hungry hippos, and we've got our third one with a little bit of time that we have left, but that's not too bad. So we've got another way that we can use the motion tiling completely differently than probably what it was intended for. Number 3. Film reel. For those of you that went to the arts museum or were made to go by your school and stuff like that, you know, when you saw the zoetrope and things like that, how things actually move. I know when you're watching a movie, you're like, oh yeah, it's digital. Nope, all the digital stuff is just thousands of images flashed in your face and it looks like it's moving. Still to this day, we have not been able to improve upon it because that's how it works, which is so cool. I did go through a skateboarding phase, said Keys. For about 3 Mays though. Reuse Jake, but true story. So in this one, we're going to be using the motion tile effect, plus we're also going to use our knowledge of stop frame animation. We did do a little bit of this before, but you can put anything else that you want there instead of a heart. But every time the screen flicks, maybe change its position. You can make it bigger, make it get really, really close to the screen. You can make it fly upwards and disappear out. It's down to you. We're going to pretty much do a similar thing to what we did with our first one, where we decided to put it inside a comp for the sake of the adjustment kind of taking over. So let us go ahead and grab the adjustment layer. You could do it before or after. What I mean by that is you could choose to comp the adjustment layer stuff before or after. I might do it after the comping, that is. I don't mind it touching all the stuff because I know I'm going to grab it later. Because of all the layers that are there, they're temporarily hidden, but if you need to see where things are, click this. You can see all the layers of the things that I've put together to make sure that you actually have a fun mini game. But we've got this here. We're going to put the thingy on it. Effect. Stylize with the Z. Motion tile. And we're actually going to use the moving up one again. The motion pellet one. Tile it in the center. Remember, it can't move before the text. So let's say we have it. Wait, what's 2 of 180? What we could do. Oh no, I'm going backwards. Oh, never mind. That's the way we're doing it apparently. Whoop. Okay, so we've got it going up, but we could do a similar thing with what we did with the hippos. We could have it overshoot, which is going to make it look like, if you've ever seen like the silent movies, you've seen somebody like manually doing the changes of stuff. Sometimes while they're changing it, it kind of goes over a little bit and then comes back. We can do the same thing with this. So if it's going up, have it snap, But yes, you can make it more exaggerated if you need to as well. And because we've done it, if it's close, if it's not, this won't really work. Looks like we're up just a little bit. We could totally move this down. The closer it is, the easier it will be for us to kind of get away with not having to animate this again. So I don't really want to. Yay, okay. Press space. So it looks like it's moved. Then we can just copy and paste everything. Perfect. So we got, maybe one more. We don't need this, I don't think. Yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. Don't press Control and X. It deletes all your stuff. Let me put this here. Move this over. Move this a little bit closer together. Change the timing. Bloop, bloop. Bloop. However fast or slow you want it to move, it's up to you. Let's say it hangs here for a little bit. And then we can have one. These are the exact same. I don't think that should matter unless it isn't. Boom, boom, boom. And let's have a couple of more while I watch the time. Boop. And maybe one more. It looks like it says boom. It does. Good. And I guess we could do another one. Let's take a look. Bum, 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 bum. Cool. How about we also make the heart do something? In my previous example, I made it scale. So we could do the scale again, or you could do position. Completely down to you. Let's say it starts off at 50. We're going to make sure that it only moves when the screen changes. So it should be 50 until the next screen appears. So it looks like it's stop frame. So it's small. Now it looks big. We can hold the big. And then just before it settles, show the small again. So it looks like it's kind of like a beating heart. We can do the same with everything else as well, with the rotation, with position. Actually, let's have it cycle out of here. Let's say it's up. Then it goes up again. We got a couple more. And because I've not clipped it, apparently, I'm not too bothered to because of the time, let's have it come back down. Let's say it's there. And then it looks like it goes back up. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. Boop, boop, bum, 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 bum. Nice. Okay. Next thing to do, quite simple, is to take all of this out, grab everything that's related to it, which would be the arcade, the hearts, the frame. Let's make sure it is. Good. Yes. If we like, we can totally leave a duplicate of the arcade down there. I'm actually going to duplicate everything, put it into a comp, get rid of the adjustment layer, probably hide the background frame. Well, no, can we keep it? No. Get rid of the heart. Meh. Hide the frame. Good. And then with the pre-crump, we could attach the nomats to the game mask, which is apparently still visible, which is great. And we've got this. Blah, 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 blah. Nice. Phew. We did good. Don't forget to check out your successes here, although seems like the adjustment layer can give it a little bit of some weird effects. I'm not sure why, but it totally can. If you want to see it work with this and it's not giving you the kind of results you're expecting to see, or maybe it's showing you the truth of the matter, you could totally just render out your file as well and then just stick it back in, uncomp the layers that I have and go through it that way. But I hope you had fun. Seeing the motion tile was actually pretty cool. So I've not seen it before. But it's time for the conclusion. Your homework. I've got the right screen this time. Complete the minigame homework and recreate the minigames in your own way. And of course, start on something small. That way, if it gets a little bit tricky, you'll be able to work it out on a simpler area. But more importantly, have fun. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. Thanks, Keys, Adara, Oliver, Uma, Alessandra, Khalid. Enjoy the rest of your day.